Landen Gambill won't be facing the honor court, at least not right now.
Tuition could be going up for out-of-state students. Is a Carolina education still worth it? I've got the story coming up.
And there's no business like show business, and you can get into it right here at UNC.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
The university's handling of sexual assault cases is back in the news tonight. It has to do with Landen Gambill, one of the people involved in that federal investigation of UNC. Good evening, I'm Sefe Amakpai.
And I'm Landon Dowdy. She's facing honor court charges as a result of accusations she made against her former boyfriend. But Chancellor Holden Thorpe is asking Student Attorney General to delay the hearing. Alex Giles joins us with the latest information. Alex, what's going on right now?
Well, Landen Gambill filed a new complaint with the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights. She says the university is retaliating against her for speaking out about her sexual assault. Thorpe asked the honor court to postpone the trial until the university reviews Gambill's new complaint. And if you're new to this story, here's a little bit of background information. Gambill first made headlines earlier this semester when she said the university mishandled her sexual assault case. She says she was raped, and the university tried to silence her. Gambill is part of a group that filed a lawsuit against UNC for the way officials handle reports of sexual assault. Then she was accused of an honor code violation for intimidating the man she accused of raping her. The hearing for that charge is what Thorpe postponed.
Well, thank you for the update on Gambill, Alex. Now, you've also been covering Governor McCrory's tuition increase proposal. Now, there have been some updates with that this week. What's going on with that, and how is that going to affect us as students?
I got you, Landon. Absolutely. If you're an out-of-state student, you could be paying more for tuition if the governor's budget proposal passes. Take a look.
Justin Forsyth is a senior computer science major from Boston. He has one more semester of college, which means he'll be paying one more semester of tuition. But North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory wants the cost of that tuition to go up.
It sucks paying for more money. It sucks spending more money on tuition.
Now, we are impacting out-of-state students and are increasing those costs. But my focus right now is on North Carolina citizens and North Carolina students that need further education in our great university system.
They're the ones paying taxes here. They're the ones that set up the system. It kind of makes sense, but at the same time, you're kind of screwing over a large percentage of your student body.
According to the UNC admissions website, out-of-state students see an average 7% increase in tuition every year. That's $1,400. Governor Pat McCrory wants to see that percentage jump to 12.3%. That'd be tacking on an extra $2,400 to next year's out-of-state student tuition bill. Is that fair?
UNC Chancellor Emeritus James Measer says yes.
When we compare our out-of-state tuition with Michigan or Virginia or any other university that we like to compare ourselves to, we're still a good buy.
Forsyth says even with the tuition hikes, UNC is a better option than most schools he considered in Boston.
I have a lot more space, and I can have a car, and it's a lot nicer in terms of that regard, housing expenses and stuff like that. And then tuition's a little bit cheaper. So, I said when it's all said and done, it's probably around $40,000. Up there, it's probably $50,000.
Looks like if you're out of state, you better not be out of money.
Officials in the UNC admissions department say they are unable to speculate on what effect an increase in tuition might have on out-of-state applications to the university. James Measer says he's absolutely confident that out-of-state applications won't decline.
Student body president Will Limenstall is getting his way. Student Congress voted last night not to overturn his veto of a bill that would have made it harder for organizations to use student fees for ammunition. At the last full meeting for the year, Student Congress met to discuss the bill. That's something Limenstall says Congress didn't do the first time around. And he says that's why he used his veto powers. Students from the Tar Heel Rifle and Pistol Club also attended the meeting. For now, the bill is dead. Nearly 1,800 people gathered at the annual Carolina Indian Circle Powwow celebration on campus this weekend. The event was held in honor of Faith Hedgepeth. This year's theme, Keeping the Faith through honoring our traditions. Hedgepeth was a member of the student group. She was found dead in her off-campus apartment in September. Her death is still a mystery. Her death is not the only mystery around campus. 4 students have died in the last year, and we still don't know why, how, or who may be involved. Campus and Chapel Hill cops are only saying that the investigations continue, that release of any information might damage those efforts. Avery Harper reports that's leaving family members in the dark.
Stephen Shannon knows little more about his brother, UNC first-year David Shannon's death, than when he first died back in November.
We know how he died, but we don't know why, which is the harder thing.
Police say David Shannon fell to his death after climbing a structure at a cement plant in Carborough. But why he was at the plant in the first place remains a mystery.
David was a great kid, and it sucks that, his life was cut short.
David is one of 4 student deaths that haunts the UNC community. But the details of Faith Hedgepeth, Trevor Dolan, and most recently, Stedman Gage, are unknown to the public.
Usually by this time, something has happened to shed more light on at least the circumstances of the death.
Media attorney Hugh Stevens says the limited information available about the deaths is strange.
And the explanation given is that the investigation is ongoing.
In all 4 cases, the public, and in some cases even the families, have been kept in the dark. And besides initial notifications of student deaths, the university has remained quiet about the deaths of UNC students in the past academic year. Shannon says he's accepted that he may never know why his brother died.
We're not going to forget him. We love him, and he'll always be with us.
Honoring the memory of students who have died has become one of the only ways for families and friends to make sure they're not forgotten. In Chapel Hill, I'm Avery Harper.
University officials and the Chapel Hill Police Department haven't provided further information about the UNC students' deaths.
Do you have a job or are you looking for a job? You might want to listen up. President Obama wants to increase the minimum wage from $7.25 to $9. That could help out a lot of students, but there are some downsides. Reporter Brianna Harper explores the economic possibilities.
Thank you for calling Chapel Ridge Apartments. This is Shelby. How may I help you?
UNC sophomore Shelby Jones works at Chapel Ridge Apartments 18 hours a week. She files paperwork, signs leases, gives property tours,
And this is our front office.
and earns the minimum wage rate of $7.25 per hour.
And I feel like people would rather make money in a different way than have to work really hard for for less pay.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Jones is among the 50% of workers younger than 25 who earn minimum wage or less. But she says for her and other young college students, minimum wage pay is just enough to get by.
I only have to worry about certain bills and the fact that I don't have kids, I don't have to provide for anybody but myself.
But can a family live off the minimum wage these days? Economics professor Patrick Conway.
$1,000 is a nice chunk of change if you're a high school kid. But if you're trying to support a family, pay rent, buy gas for the car, put food on the table, it's not that much.
President Obama thinks he has a solution.
No one who works full-time should have to live in poverty, and raise the federal minimum wage to $9 an hour.
Conway says if this proposal is approved, we can expect a variety of outcomes. Some good, some bad. For example, an increase in minimum wage could stimulate economic activity, but it could also create greater unemployment and higher prices. So where's the happy medium?
Set the wage at a point where the people who want to work at that wage are working, then the firms who are willing to hire workers are charging that wage as well. You're in equilibrium.
For now, Jones prepares for a future career in the real world with pay much higher than the minimum wage. Reporting in Chapel Hill, I'm Brianna Harper.
Even if the minimum wage is raised to $9, economists say the increase would bring the real dollar value only back to the level of the 1980s. There appears to be little chance the increase will pass the Republican-controlled House. Doctors say brain games like this one may not help prevent dementia after all. Details next.
Connect with us online by liking the Carolina Week Facebook page and following us on Twitter at Carolina Week UNC.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, Knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
You're on your way to meet up with friends, but you can't seem to get anywhere quickly. You don't want your friends to be annoyed, so you text. You're on your way. Five seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while texting while driving. Make sure you get where you're going.
It's a long way from Chapel Hill to Hollywood, but a little-known minor within the Communication Studies Department is getting a few students closer. John Daniels tells us more about the screenwriting minor here at UNC.
Colin Hodges is a senior advertising major, but during his sophomore year, he enrolled in the Writing for the Screen and Stage minor, also known as the screenwriting minor.
I think it's great. I love it. I've loved every single class that we've taken in it. The people you meet in there, it's just a room of creative people, and that's just awesome.
This fall, the 10th class of screenwriting minors will be coming to Swain Hall. Director of the minor and Professor Dana Cohen says he looks forward to bringing in the new class.
I'm excited. The students seem generally more qualified as the years go on, as they become more and more aware of the program.
Cohen says many graduates over the years have gone on to work for large-scale productions, like Sci-Fi's television series Haven.
They all still want to be screenwriters, television writers, etc. But they've settled in very nicely, and I'm really very pleased.
The classes in the minor have inspired Hodges to change his career plans.
Since then, I've fallen in love with screenwriting, and that was sophomore year, and now I'm actually going to go for it as a career.
Cohen says he wants the minor to grow into a major one day.
But I think the more visibility the program has, the larger the footprint, the more attention we call to the program and the success of its students, I think the better chance we have of doing that.
Until then, the minor will be preparing students for careers in screenwriting. In Chapel Hill, I'm John Daniels.
Students in the minor take 5 courses ranging from screenwriting to play analysis. A gift to the university in 2003 started the program.
UNC's nursing school accepted more students into its undergraduate program for the upcoming school year, 16 more. The school accepted more students because of the extra funding that came from the Provost Committee and the Dean. Officials say they determine how many students to accept based on the demand for nurses and the status of the economy. 104 students were accepted into the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program, and 56 were accepted into the Accelerated program. You probably didn't know that March is Myeloma Awareness Month, or you may not even know what that is. It's a type of cancer that starts in bone marrow, and you can donate bone marrow just like you do in blood. The UNC Undergraduate Family Medicine Interest Group hosted its first bone marrow registry drive in the Union. Students came in, filled out an eligibility form, much like you do in blood drives, then swabbed the insides of their cheeks for about 10 seconds. The swabs are sent off in envelopes for type testing. Potential donors are then added to the Be the Match registry according to their marrow type. Listings on the registry will be available to any matching patient who needs them until the donor's 61st birthday. Well, Steffi, when you're thinking of staying healthy, I think of diet and exercise, but it's clear that you don't really know what to do to maintain your intellectual health. So how do you avoid various kinds of dementia when you get older?
Well, doctors used to think that puzzles and games help to keep our minds agile. Health and science reporter Ana Cabello says doctors are rethinking all of that.
Every Friday afternoon, group leader Marcy Davis conducts a trivia session for her mental aerobics group at Croasdale Retirement Community in Durham.
The Old North State is actually in the south. What is it? North Carolina. It's a question and answer game with no scoring and lots of laughs.
Fellow resident Rita Sorensen says her mental agility surprises her.
Oh, sometimes I'm amazed at what I can remember from 5th grade and the unit on the Egyptians or something.
Mental aerobics is an example of a brain fitness activity. Puzzles, trivia books, and even video games are now geared towards promoting brain health. They have made brain fitness into a $300 million industry. These products are especially popular with older people as a way to fight off dementia and Alzheimer's disease. But does brain fitness actually do that?
Sitting down doing crossword puzzles will not, by itself, stave off most diseases.
Professor Peggy Dilworth Anderson studies long-term care at the UNC Institute of Aging. She says that engaging in mental exercises is not a cure by itself.
What the evidence does show that social engagement, as opposed to isolation, increases the ability to stay cognitively intact longer.
Getting together with the other people, I think, and finding interesting questions and discussing them and laughing. As far as I'm concerned, compared with playing bridge, this is much better.
A third of people over the age of 65 will die with dementia. Scientists don't know if mental aerobics do any good, but they do know that staying active, avoiding tobacco, as well as managing your blood pressure will make a difference. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ana Cabello.
That figure of 1/3 of people over the age of 65 eventually dying with dementia comes from the British Medical Journal. Doctors say dementia will become an even bigger public health problem as the number of older people in the population increases. This year's senior class gifts could end up with the highest percentage of seniors ever donating. 17% of seniors have already contributed. That's more than last year, and there's still time to go. If more than 48% of seniors participate, alumnus John Moore from the class of 1988 will donate a gift of $20,000. Senior class officers hope to be the first class in Carolina history to reach more than 50% participation. To find out how you can donate, visit carolinaweek.org.
Hugo Chavez was a thorn in the side of the United States for years, and his death a few weeks ago didn't bring a lot of tears in this country. Venezuelans may have mourned his passing, but they are hoping for a change, especially when it comes to crime and the murder rate. Vanessa Martinez has more.
UNC junior and Venezuela native Martina Molari says she's glad to be going to school in the United States.
I love being back home, and I love my family, and love seeing my friends, but you get a freedom here that you don't have back there.
Molinari says when visiting Venezuela, she doesn't walk around because she's afraid she might be kidnapped and murdered.
You can't walk anywhere, even if it's walking something that's right next to your house.
Latin American Studies professor Evelyn Huber agrees and says the dangers for visitors to Venezuela have increased.
Transport from the airport into the capital city has gotten a lot worse over the past 15 years.
Critics say the Venezuelan government under Hugo Chavez failed to do enough to prevent violent crimes. According to the United States Department of State Bureau of Diplomatic Security, the number of people murdered in Venezuela in 2011 was more than 19,000. That same year, the FBI reported around 12,000 murders in the U.S. The U.S. population is more than 10 times larger than Venezuela. With the death of Chavez, Molinari now thinks living conditions in Venezuela will get better.
But it just gives you hope. That things can finally change.
Molinari wants to stay in the U.S., continue to enjoy the freedom and safety of our country. She plans to apply for U.S. citizenship. In Chapel Hill, I'm Vanessa Martinez.
Well, and this time last year, I swear to you, I was wearing shorts, but it is so cold outside.
I know, I'm really ready to get rid of the scarves.
Oh my.
Hopefully we have some warm weather coming our way when we hear from meteorologist Katie McGee next.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things.
like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. Number 50,000 back
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Hey, you going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather. Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing. I'm trying to get you out of here.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Katie McGee, and welcome back to Carolina Week. Now, looking at today, we can see that we did start out today temperatures right around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. However, average for this time of year is 66 degrees Fahrenheit. And right now, we are also experiencing winds about 15 miles per hour. So although today seemed a little warmer than it has been in the past, it is still considerably cooler than we have been experiencing the past few years. If you can remember, this time last year, we were having what felt like May and March. Now it's a lovely winter we're having this spring. Looking at the current satellite image right now, we can see clear skies over central North Carolina, a bit of cloud cover to our northeast. However, that clear skies is expected to last throughout most of the southeastern region. However, there is a bit of cloud cover over North Texas and Arkansas right now, and that's in association with this low pressure system. However, that won't be impacting our weather until later this week. Right now, what we want to keep our eye on is this high pressure system. Now, that's going to bring down all of this cool Canadian air from the north, which is why we've been experiencing such cold temperatures, as well as a bit of a breeze that is expected to last through tonight as we see this high pressure system still dominating our weather. Now, looking ahead to tomorrow, you can see also this low pressure system we discussed earlier slowly moving closer towards us. Now, that won't affect us until later Friday or Saturday, but that will bring up this warm Gulf air, so there is hope for a warmer tomorrow. However, we are experiencing tomorrow a bit cooler with temperatures around 50 and a slight chance of freezing rain to our west, but there is no precipitation expected here in central North Carolina. Looking ahead at tonight, again, we can see cool and clear, relatively chilly skies for us with a light breeze. Temperatures dipping down to 30. However, that breeze is expected to bring a wind chill to about the mid to upper 20s. So if you are going out, make sure you bring a jacket. And breaking down tonight just a little further so you know what to expect, we can see 43 at 8 p.m. and then midnight 37. So if you are going out for dinner, you definitely don't want to forget a jacket. Clear skies expected throughout the evening on into tomorrow morning, which is letting all of that heat we managed to get today escape out into the atmosphere. And then 8 a.m. we're starting at 33 degrees. So if you do have a morning class, make sure you also bring your jacket. You don't need an umbrella anymore, but you definitely want to keep that jacket handy. And then tomorrow, sunny skies with those northwesterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, around 53. So a lot like we've experienced today, however, still pretty cooler than we are usually this time of year. Now, if you're planning on traveling this weekend, Friday we can see mostly cloudy skies, Asheville and Charlotte, but then clear sunny skies for the rest in the upper 50s to mid 60s. And then if you are sticking in Chapel Hill, we have a baseball game this Saturday against Clemson starting at 6 p.m. around 54 with partly cloudy skies, clearing up to mostly clear around 6 p.m. Now looking at our 5-day forecast, again, you can see temperatures around 53 tomorrow, clouds building on into a chance of rain Sunday, but finally reaching back up to around 70 on Monday. So we're finally getting back to where we should be this time of year, but definitely nothing like we have been seeing.
That warm weather is just like trying to creep out somewhere.
It's teasing us, but hopefully soon it'll be here.
And you got your summer haircut, I see.
Yes,
You're just ready.
it is
Anything.
perfect. Top it off.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Brotherly love, but no, we're not in Philadelphia. We'll have the story of 2 Tar Heel decathletes after the break.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Will Reimer. Yesterday was NFL Pro Day in Chapel Hill. With their UNC football careers complete, several Tar Heels worked out for their future in the NFL. The players ran drills in front of scouts and coaches. 30 scouts were in Chapel Hill. And look, there's Cincinnati Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis right there. The drills included a lot of running. You see wide receiver Eric Highsmith right here. He ran a 4.6 40-yard dash. And plenty of agility drills as well. There's running back Gio Bernard with the kick feet. Pro Day not only showed players a glimpse of what's expected of them at the next level, but it gave them the chance to impress scouts and improve their draft stocks. These Tar Heels have already impressed the scouts. Bernard is the highest rated running back prospect according to NFL.com for April's draft. Expect to see him drafted in the second round or maybe earlier. Guard Jonathan Cooper could be a top 10 pick. Defensive tackle Sylvester Williams should also go in the first round. Nothing new for North Carolina. A Tar Heel's been drafted in the first round in 4 of the past 5 years. Williams says no matter which round he gets drafted, just making the NFL will be a big accomplishment.
I look at it as, for me, it's about proving people wrong. Because for myself, I knew I could do it all alone, and I know I had to really do it, so being able to do it and being able to achieve that goal is being able to prove everybody wrong and showing everybody that I'm a great guy, I'm a great player, and I got a bright future.
You know about track, you know a decathlete does 10 different events each meet. So why would a freshman take on such a challenge when he first didn't even consider track and field in college? Maybe to follow some footsteps. Julian Caldwell reports.
Brothers Ryan and John Ramsey have been sharing laughs, hobbies, and more since younger brother John started his first year at UNC in the fall.
Well, he actually lives in my room from freshman year, just by coincidence, in Carmichael.
Yeah, I got assigned to the exact same room.
That was by chance, but it's no chance that John picked up track as a junior in high school and followed his brother to Chapel Hill from home in Kentucky.
The fact that my dad did it and he was good at it, and that Ryan did it and was good at it. Basically, I hadn't been playing any other sports, so I just wanted to get involved with something, and so I did track.
John fractured his ankle in the fall and has missed his entire first season. Ryan, a junior at UNC, plays the supportive big brother role now, but admits that he's also been on the other end of his brother's injuries in the past.
I drove Power Wheels up a tree. He fell out of the back and got stitches on his forehead. And then, a week later, I threw a boomerang and it hit you in the head, and you had to get stitches on that. So I felt bad, but in hindsight, it was pretty funny.
Now, as big kids in college, they work together to play pranks on their teammates.
I filled up a big pot of water and put ice cubes in it, and then he got some eggs. And then we opened the door to the shower, I poured all the water on him, and he threw the eggs at him. And it was hilarious.
With John scheduled for another week and a half of rehab, the brothers are looking to next season to not only play pranks together, but place together too. In Chapel Hill, I'm Julian Caldwell.
Well, outdoor track season is about to get underway this weekend, but the season's over for the men's and women's basketball teams. Both teams lost in the second round of their respective NCAA tournaments, but the baseball team keeps on winning, so that's good news.
I know. Well, let's hope they can pull it through. Pressure's on, boys. Can't get a dime without any pressure.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will. You've probably seen these signs around campus, but what do they mean? We'll tell you next.
If you have a story idea, call Carolina Week at 919-843-8292 or email us at carolinaweek@unc.edu. And if you have questions about this program, write to us at Carolina Week, Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599. Be sure to check out Carolina Week online at carolinaweek.org.
You've seen the signs, so the question is, do you have $2.31? The group behind the signs is Building Tomorrow, a nonprofit that builds schools in Uganda. If every UNC donates $2.31, UNC's chapter of Building Tomorrow will be able to build its second school. If you're interested in giving, come to Top of the Hill tonight at 9:30 for a fundraiser.
And that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks so much for watching. Good night.
Night.